Hi, welcome back to KCZIN. I'm Joe Lazu. Go to our website, kczin.com, and become a supporter to keep pro-independence, the idea, alive in our people. So here we are in the elections coming up in a few months in 2022, and now we have to make a decision. The decision's always been, who do we go within the Democratic Party, go down ballot? That's what the indoctrination that the party has been teaching our people. And then we go by that. However, we realize that after going through that process, maybe voting 1 year and then 2 years later you vote a second year, and you say, well, we tried to get that 2 years ago, didn't happen. We'll go for the fourth year and it still hasn't occurred. We're going to keep pushing for it. Before you know it, a decade has passed, and what you first started to get in 10 years was never accomplished within those 10 years. But you said keep hope alive, that's all we get is hope. Do we get anything outside of hope? And even hope doesn't achieve what we want. So this is the problem, that the allegiance to a party that tells us that they're better than the other party, and by switching to that party is a bad decision. They're worse than we are. So your choices, they tell you, is go with us as bad or them which are worse. Those aren't even logical decisions to make, because neither one of them are of a benefit to us. So a lot of us get stuck in this quagmire, right? Bad, worse, whatever, but never anything good comes out of anything. So we have to understand how we got to where we are today to figure out where we're going to go in 2022. So how did we get caught up in this Democratic Party as a people? Now, remember in 1960, black people voted for Kennedy and created a lot of excitement, and after that they started to join in numbers into this particular party. But the problem is that this party hasn't been all that great to us. So around the early 70s, black people got together, they put in a big event together, bring all the black leaders, and they said, we're gonna have to figure out how to use our political power to help ourselves. Great idea, right? Well, now they needed a plan. Which way are we going to go? How are we going to use this group of ourselves as a political powerhouse to benefit us? Well, people kept throwing different ideas. One of the ideas that got a lot of traction was, we should start our own political party. Wow, this is 50 years ago. And they were thinking about, yeah, this would be great. I mean, we're already together. They're not with us. We could be for ourselves, and we can make things better for ourselves. And then there was a debate. Those who did it, those who wanted it. Those who did not want it, they said, well, I think we have a better option with the Democratic Party. And the man that gave that speech was Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson said, hey, man, you were better with the Democrats. We already got Kennedy elected. Let's keep it going. And our people said, well, they haven't been all that great to us. Well, nonetheless, they went along with Jesse Jackson, and ever since then, you've been stuck with the Democratic Party. So 50 years is about the time that we have made that allegiance to this particular party. And in 50 years, we have now seen the effects of the decision that we made 50 years ago. It really was a horrible decision. From the onset, it was just nothing but a battle against a party that you were paying to be a member and paying to keep your candidates elected. This was a horrible, horrible decision, and we kept at it for 50 consecutive years. So, my question to you is, are we aware that decisions that we make today can impact our lives for the next 50 years? Yes, that decision that Jesse Jackson introduced, that our people supported 50 years ago, is the reason we have been living in this trauma under this party. Now we have to make another choice. This time, the pro-independence voice is speaking. I represent the pro-independence voice, and I want you to listen closely to what we have to offer. Number one, we need our own separate party. We don't need them. They need our votes so they can win. We don't need them. Number two, when we start our party has to be about independence for ourselves. Independence means that we cannot depend on the Democrats, nor the Republicans, the Green Party, the Libertarian, or any other party. I don't care who they are. We depend on ourselves. Just like the Democrats do. They don't depend on the Republicans and vice versa. We should depend on ourselves and be independent. Independence, that's why we call ourselves a pro-independence party. And the ultimate goal, just like 50 years ago, in that discussion, the discussion came up with, should we form our own nation, our country for ourselves? That got killed along with having our own party 50 years ago. So here we are, 50 years later, going through the same discussion that occurred back then. Why we're having the same discussion? Because we took the wrong decision. We decided to go against our own instincts. Of course we should have had our own party. Of course we should start putting a plan together to form our own country. Of course, it's the most logical decision that we could ever make. This nation has not been good to our people, period. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been president as a black man or black woman. This country refuses to be good to our people. We have to have our own party, and we have to plan to form our own country. That's basic 101 human self-preservation. This is no different what George Washington did and Benjamin Franklin. Of course not. They got tired of George, the King of England, and they said, look, we can do better without this guy and be ourselves. The same applies to us. And we have to answer that question. Just because we made the bad decision 50 years ago, it doesn't take away how we truly, genuinely, as a people feel. We do better working as our own independent people. We know this. We know this. We don't have to be taught this. We don't have to be educated on this. What we have to do is act upon it. 50 years ago, we closed the doors on independence for our people. 50 years ago, we closed the door on having our own political party. Now that you have suffered for your consequences, it's time to make the right decision. In 2022, we're going to start getting our candidates elected into office. That's right, into Congress. Not as Democrats, not as Republicans, but our party, the pro-independence party, Mahali party. There is no other party in America that represents us. We're the only party that's going to do it, and your vote is absolutely critical to support this party. Don't make the decision that we made with Jesse Jackson 50 years ago to abandon the idea of supporting our own party and abandon the idea of forming our own country. This time, we're not going to make that decision. 2022 is our referendum. That's right. This is the time we let this country know that we are going to act as an independent people, not depending on America through its political parties like the Republicans or the Democrats. We're not depending on any of their parties. We're standing up on ourselves, on our own, and get our people elected and replace the horrible representation of 50 years of the results of that Jesse Jackson decision 50 years ago, their allegiance to the Democratic Party, which has created this horrible, horrible leadership called the Negro Caucus, and all that Negro Caucus has created has been nothing but failure. We must replace all of them with the Mahali Party, the pro-independence party, the only party that is designed specifically for us, and the goal of the party is you, what we as a people want, and nothing else. That's why you need your own party. That's why the Mahali is here to represent you. And most importantly, we're trying to correct the 50-year decision that we made. We as a people made that decision. And now it's up to us to correct it and make it right and get the results that we really know we can get through ourselves, through our party, the pro-independence party, a party that will not bow down to the Democrats, nor the Republicans, or any other party, the party that stands on its own, has its own merit. You can now join this party and be proud that you can be part of this party that's correcting the errors that we made 50 years ago after 50 years of being punished from our actions. Unto this day, in 2022, we are going to resolve that issue, and we're going to stand up in this nation as a people united under one party, and we're going to stand before this country and let them know that we are intending to form our own country, because that's exactly what each of our people deserve after the atrocities of living in this nation. Join us immediately and become not just a member, become an active member and get involved with all the candidates in your district and help them get elected. Donate to their campaign. Don't send a single dime to the Negro Caucus. Don't give them any support at the Negro Caucus. Don't even vote for the Negro Caucus. Vote for the pro-independence candidates of Mahali Party that are going to give you your own political party and eventually form a nation just for you, so you can grow. And we will build a greater nation than America. We've done it in the past. We'll do it again.